Vicky moves, Raf seconds. No. We're not going to be naughty. Now, Yanni, have you got any more questions?
Had a good chat to start, but I guess the bigger question around urban design. So last week we removed our urban design plan change, and I just wanted to kind of understand how urban design was going to be put, given that we've removed it, whether we should actually be putting that plan change into this phase one, because it's pretty important. So it's kind of a general question around how do we give effect to the urban design stuff that we spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of work on through this submission. Can we include that into here?
Brigitte.
Through you, Madam Chair. All of the information, all of the work that was done to support that urban design plan change has been incorporated into the chapters that have been passed you through this stage one. Some of it is still coming in some of the chapters in stage two. The only reason it had to be removed is because you can't, that plan change is now not needed because it has been incorporated into the district plan review. It's not that the work hasn't been useful, and it's not that the outcomes haven't been put into the district plan review. And you've been through all of the urban design elements of the residential, commercial and various other chapters through the briefings.
Is there nothing in that plan change 56 that's different, that asks for more urban design than what's in the current proposed plan? But my recollection is that we removed some stuff around industrial, around requirements over a certain size for commercial, for urban design.
Plan change 56 proposed requirements for for a resource consent to assess urban design in our existing B1, Business 1 and Business 2 zones, which are only the commercial zones. And the commercial chapter is notified. We've essentially captured requirements for an urban design assessment, and the thresholds differ slightly from what was in Plan Change 56, but that's been discussed previously, and so you may recall before Council's approval of the chapters to go to the ministers, we discussed raising the threshold so that less consents were triggered, and so the thresholds in the chapter going as notified reflects those discussions. And so relative to the operative city plan, this proposed plan introduces new requirements, and those requirements reflect in large part what was in Plan Change 56.
There's only some master plans that have been, I think it was Sumner and Woolston and Littleton in the submission. Can we add the other master plans?
The plan as notified includes special urban design requirements with a higher threshold triggering more consents for Sumner, Sydenham and Littleton, and this submission seeks to add to those Edgware and Woolston to reflect the other master plans adopted.
So could we add like New Brighton, Stanmore Road and so on?
We can certainly do that in the second phase. New Brighton we deliberately put into phase 2 to consider and discuss with the community what the outcomes they anticipate are, and we've to date had engaged with the business community, but we'll continue that process, and in phase 2 when we come to you we'll include special provisions for New Brighton.
Can I vote that we add Selwyn and Livermore, Stanmore Road, and the main road, Ferry Road?
That one's been
being
signed
done.
off, hasn't it? I can't see that we can't do that. What I'm unsure of is how much was in those master plans that related to urban design, but if you're happy to do that, I'm happy to include it.
I think that'd be good.
All right. So why don't we just have a blanket amendment that, and I'm sure the mover and seconder would be comfortable with this, that relevant master plans that contain urban design provisions will be added to the submission?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a question of you really is, you talked about making a kind of principled statement around, I guess, some values that we have as a city. So things like reducing notification requirements, reducing consenting requirements,
Yeah,
reducing urban design.
I think that I'm accepting the point that Brigitte made, that this is the technical update to our submission of the plan. It's really the amendments to what we've sent through. What we're going to receive, though, is all of the public submissions, and one that I'm particularly interested in and have signalled is the whole of government submission. And I think we should hold our comments and then respond very directly to that.
I guess the issue I have is it looks quite awkward today making submissions to reduce notification requirements, and then at the second phase of submissions saying actually we support notification and community participation.
But these are the amendments that were made after we received the feedback from the two ministers, which we are legally required to take into account. I'd much rather have a strong statement from the council as a whole on all of these matters when we fire in the second lot. But I mean, I don't mind having an overall one. I mean, maybe we could just have in the opening statement of the submission simply state, reinforcing the community's desire for quality urban design and the rebuild of our city, and that an opportunity to resolve some of the historic sort of
Happy to do that.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So we'll include a phrase on that. But do we need to include that as part of the
I think you
submission?
would, yes, as a
All right,
recommendation.
so, and that the council include an overarching statement of commitment to quality urban design and the rebuild of the city.
As proposed through the stage 1 chapters
Yeah,
of the replacement district plan.
yeah. But it's basically in accordance with the desire of the people of Christchurch.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's really to reflect, to include an overarching statement. Yeah, that's right, to reflect the community's desire, but that would be a Y apostrophe S. Communities. Desire is not the right word, but reflect the
Aspirations?
yeah the community's aspirations for the city. Yep. All right.
How it's possible to do this because there's a few changes, but I am really concerned about the outline development plans, removing the notification provision. So, I don't want to vote against the whole thing because there's actually some amendments here that make sense, that tidy ups. But where they're removing the public notification around and limited notification around changes to ODPs, I don't support.
Okay, so let's have a separate thing that you can vote on separately that just simply says.
Well, can I?
So it's an amendment that
That we remove
the provisions that.
It's an amendment that says that council removes the
Proposed submissions.
in regards to reduced notification requirements for changes to outline development plans.
Okay, so you're moving that. Do we have a seconder for that? Paul? All right, so now I'll open the whole thing up for debate.
Great, thank you. I'll be very simple because I think I've made this point, but the lessons I've learned from a few years in local government, particularly around planning, is that people like to be involved in planning processes. when things are finally agreed, whether it's through an environment court or through a council process, and outline development plans are put in place, that is part of a collaborative process to weigh up the different arguments. And I think it's really important as we go forward as a city that those people that have participated in those planning processes where things change have an opportunity to be involved in the process. It doesn't always mean they'll get what they want, but actually I think if things are notified to those people that do consider to be affected, then actually you get a much better outcome working together rather than having this group excluded. And I just again remind you of the cases like the Noble subdivision, the changes to the outline development plan, and the way that that process happened. If it had been notified at the start, I think possibly we would have saved ourselves a lot of energy, a lot of resource as a city, and we would have been able to weigh up the different competing interests. So I just, fundamentally disagree with removing the notification requirements for communities to be involved in planning matters. And again, I refer to Ferrymead as being probably not the best example to use of what we want to see in an outline development plan as a city, and any encroachment into removing even less public amenity from larger developments, I think is something, we would expect the community, we should expect the community to be able to have a say in. So whether it's Ferrymead, whether it's Heathcote, whether it's Noble subdivision. So I don't support reducing these notification requirements.
Okay. All right. David East.
Just probably a point of clarification, maybe staff might like to answer it. What impacts
Well, this is the debate part. We've already passed the questions.
Righto.
Sorry. Is there anything?
I was just concerned about the government's move to amend the RMA, and a lot of it is trying to reduce the number of consents that are notified, and what impact that this amendment would have on the general thrust of what's being proposed in RMA reform. So I'm just not too comfortable with the thing at the moment.
All right. So so I'll put the amendment. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. That's carried. God. Okay. All right. We have to remove all of the submissions in regards to the reduced notification regarding the outline development plans. It's just absolutely beyond comprehension. Anyway.
Can we ask for a machine vote on that?
No, it was a clear-cut vote. But I mean, unless people didn't realise they were voting for the amendment. No, they did. Right. So I'll put the whole motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you. How bizarre. Right. So I'll move that we...